woke up. But then again, perhaps the dream had only just begun. Through a reflection, they suddenly slipped into the time of cowboys.
Your eyes see far, Voyager. We are much obliged.
The cowboys on horseback tried to gather the buffalo herds into an enclosure. For the Tarsier, everything was a bit too fast. Almost as if the buffalo wanted to meet them. For Voyager and the Tarsier, the time travel was unfolding beautifully. The horses, the buffalo, and the Earth. It was turning into a highly enjoyable dream journey for them. The owner of the tied horse entered the barn, and right away they decided to go over to the horse.
Look at that.
They were determined to untie the horse. But how were they going to do it? They thought about it. Voyager put all of his skills to use. But he couldn't untie this thick rope.
Well, I'll be.
The old cowboy had grown fond of them.
Where did you two
And
come
as
from?
for them, they began getting used to these dusty roads. They walked on, along with the tumbleweed, under the sun, across that red earth. They arrived at a vast ranch. Horses, buffalo, were running across the earth. They ran too. This fast-paced cowboy world was a fascinating dream for them. Naturally, they grew tired. They watched the ranch from a hill. With the pulling force of a mirror, they felt as if they were waking up. But once again, they drifted back into the dream realm. They said hello to the end of the 1700s, to life as it was back then.
No, the route must pass here.
There was a man making plans.
We have no other choice.
And entirely unaware of everything. A family. Everything seemed ordinary. A normal man, going to work and returning home.
Well now, look what we have here. Where did you two come from?
Voyager felt something strange while looking out the window. The maid in the house might have known something.
What in the world?
The man continued making his secretive plans.
Get that order processed immediately. You don't have all day.
And he had tampered with the wheel beforehand. The woman was waiting for her husband to arrive. The man set off to pick her up. They set out.
This was a gamble.
The secretive man's plan.
Are you hurt?
Was working like clockwork.
What happened?
And the wheel came off. They immediately went to the detective. The magical mirror showed the detective what the man had done.
I don't believe it. No, it's true.
The detective gathered his men and set out. For him, there was no longer any way to escape. They returned home. The workers continued working. They watched the snake, the ant nest. The detective treated them to a feast on the Unspoken Trails. Don't forget to follow them. Best wishes.